The Jada Disney Cars diecasts were all the rage back in 2016 and 2017 when they first launched. I mean, everyone was just so impressed that another brand that was readily available at stores was taking a stab at Cars characters. And although they did a ton of McQueen variations, they also did other characters like Fillmore, Mac, even with the full trailer, believe it or not. And when Cars 3 came out, they did Cruz Ramirez, Jackson Storm, and even collaborated with D23 to create an exclusive metallic Cruz Ramirez that is super underrated these days. And then the line just kind of fizzled out. They didn't do a ton of other items. I believe they canceled the Rust-eze Cruz Ramirez. They hung around for a while, reissued a couple of the McQueen variants and Jackson Storm and whatnot, but I feel like they've kind of come back in a big way here with Glow Racers McQueen, one of their more unique items they've ever done. Now, granted, it is a derivative of the Mattel Glow Racers and what we've kind of seen with the Disney store as well, but this is a big deal. I'm very excited to see how it works, how it transitions from its current state to its glowing state, which we'll obviously test later on in the video. Super pumped about this. My only issue is it's only available seemingly in the UK right now. I had to get this on eBay from the UK. I don't believe anyone has found it at retail in the US. And yeah, guys, let me know if you found it. It's a very kind of more obscure item at this point. Like I said, the Jada stuff was all the rage back in the day, but now because the line's fizzled out a little bit, no one really talks about it. And so hopefully we can bring some more attention back to the Jada stuff because I love it. I love the fact that another brand that I can find at Walmart and Target is doing car stuff. Jada is a huge collectible manufacturer. I mean, they do stuff with all sorts of franchises. I mean, I've seen Minecraft stuff, obviously just regular cars as well. All sorts of like minifigures, Marvel, Spider-Man type stuff. So yeah, I would love to get a little bit more light on this stuff, but we kind of need it to be available for sale here in the US. That would be great. But yeah, guys, let's take a look here at the box. I love how McQueen, it's like red and white. Like that's such a cool look as the base diecast coloring. I mean, obviously with the Mattel one, it's red and yellow, which is a lot more. I mean, that's just so much like a common McQueen. But the red and white looks really cool. And hopefully it accentuates the difference between how it looks now versus when it's glowing, which, if it looks anything like advertised here on the box, we're in for a treat. Glow in the dark, obviously all the Jada stuff is 1/24 scale. It's die-cast metal. These are not plastic. You have the Glow Racers logo with the Glow Racers McQueen artwork there as well. On the side, you have a full image of how McQueen is supposed to look when he's glowing. Again, it looks incredible. Cannot wait to actually test it out. And as with all Jada McQueens or Jada cars in general, they have some sort of moving feature. And for McQueen, and yeah, most of them, it is an opening hood with a detailed engine inside, which we'll take a look at as they kind of talk about here, or they illustrate and depict on the back. You have a random Racing Sports Network logo there and a link to a website, which this probably just goes right to Shop Disney nowadays. I don't think there's too much special on disney.com/RSN, but it's still interesting that they include that down there. And yeah, on the base, just a whole slew of legal jargon. I can't even look at it anymore. We have to turn the box back over. And yeah, just a window over here, nothing of notes. So yeah, guys, even though this is clearly a rare item, I'm going to bust it open. I don't care. I really want to test this out. And it's going to look way better out of the package anyway. Damn, I guess I gotta get out the screwdriver. McQueen here looks great, but whenever I have to get a screwdriver out to unbox something like this, I'm not too fond of it. But hey, if the Disney store has to use screws for their 1/43 scale stuff, then obviously Jada will as well for the 1/24 scale stuff. But yeah, I love the fact that they changed up his expression a little bit from the basic Lightning McQueen that we got from Cars 1. I don't have all the Jada stuff, by the way, because it is kind of expensive. Like, I believe they were $20 to $30 a pop at retail, and some of the ones were a little harder to find, like Cruisin' Lightning McQueen, amongst others. I don't think I ever got Cars 3 Lightning McQueen either. I wanted to kind of focus on the characters. Fillmore is a cool one that I still want to unbox and do a review of, and hey, maybe that'll be a following video to kind of piggyback off this one, but hey, that's another topic for another day. Before we get into the glow aspect of this diecast, I just want to focus on him for what he is, because I think even without him glowing, this is an awesome paint job. Obviously, it's a brand new paint job. It's different from just regular Rust-eze Lightning McQueen, and like I said at the beginning of the video, the fact that the decals are white is awesome. I love the fact it just gives him a completely new look and varies him from the Mattel Glow McQueen that has the yellow decals, right? So I'm a big fan of that. Now this part in the front is a mouth plate. It is still die cast, but you can see the crack there. So I'm not always a big fan of that. And you have the same thing going on back here for the bumper, and the crack, the crevice here is very large. It's almost coming off. I don't love that. Really, I don't know if that happened during transit or anything. The box wasn't damaged when I received it, so this might just be like a factory defect. The fact that the crevice is so wide right there, like you should not have to see that much black. Like it should kind of be a lot more flush on each other. So I'm not big on those plates there, but hey, it is what it is. I totally understand it when there's so many like moving parts here. Now the white decals they have a weird texture. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a sandpaper texture almost, and then it's glossy everywhere else. Even these decals here for the contingency sponsors are very smooth. But once you get to the white decals that are going to glow in the dark, they have a certain texture to them. And hey, maybe that's a good thing because it means that they're actually going to work really, really well. I hope so, because obviously the Mattel stuff is just glossy all around. There's no texture to the decals, and you can kind of see how it's chiseled the way the light hits it there, but they do hide that really well. I also adore the white tires here. Those look awesome, and the fact that they're treaded so intricately is really cool. I love the treads on these. Now again, Jada's always done this, so it's nothing new, but I feel like these treads just look a lot more intricate. I mean, the ones on Cruise here are pretty solid as well, but just really a big fan of how this looks. Now taking a look at the rest of the stuff on the base, obviously a lot of these parts are painted here, the exhaust pipes and other parts to the chassis here. So very happy about that. Something again that most die-cast brands don't do, but when it's 1/24 scale, when you're paying $25 for it, like these are the extra benefits of that. And you have some other decal markings or base markings. I don't know how the date stamp works for Jada like I do with Mattel stuff, but they probably have their own kind of language. But yeah, they include the website on here, and they also include up top the scale, 1/24 scale, and then yeah, some sort of stamp there. I don't know, that's a lot of numbers to decipher, but who knows. There's also another little code over here. Maybe that's like the product code or something. You have another Jada logo over here as well. But yeah, I love how clear the decals are, way clearer than what we're used to on the Mattel stuff. Again, it's all blown up, so it's understandable. One thing I don't like, though, is this Clutch A decal. And as you can see, there's some white, like, peeking out from behind. It's almost as if they, like, couldn't get a fully transparent Clutch A logo off Google Images, and so they kind of, like, cropped it weird. Because you can see, like, a little outline of a box around the Clutch Aid logo there on top and on the right side, and then you have the white kind of bleeding off of the left there. I don't like that at all. That's very strange. Obviously, someone like me who's examining this with a fine-tooth comb is going to notice it, but most people won't. And hey, like I said again, it's better than the crap that we get here on the Mattel stuff, which also, that Clutch Aid logo has some white surrounding it, a little white border as well. So yeah, I know. Yeah, the interns just go into Google Images, Clutch Aid logo, right? That seems to be what they're doing. Not really actually accessing the files themselves. I'm probably dead wrong, but it's what it looks like. I mean, it just looks unprofessional. Here we have the Lightning McQueen signature. Very faint. This is a decal. Again, also texturized, but very faint there. You have the white stripes here. That's also a decal. 95 logo looks good. You have the roof flaps there. You have the Rust-eze logos here in the back and on the spoiler. On the back here, it's pretty blank, but that is how it's supposed to be. I really do wish they had a logo there in the middle, because it does just look incomplete. Like, most people would kind of think this was an error. Like, oh, we're missing a decal. But no, that's just kind of how it's supposed to be. Not a whole lot going on decal-wise there, unfortunately. But everything else looks really good. Couple critiques, like I mentioned, but I'm a huge fan of the expression. I like that he's kind of looking off to one side. Looks really good. Now it's time to take a look at the engine. So that's about as high as the hood will open. So not terribly high. It doesn't give us a ton of room to look into the engine here. But you can see that certain parts are painted there, red and blue, some of the wiring and the cords, which again looks really good. I'm glad that they went to the extra effort to do that, but it's kind of something we've come to expect with the Jada stuff, so not terribly exciting or provoking of a higher emotion. But yeah, I like that the hood can stay open at multiple levels and it only falls when it gets down low. It is a little hard to get open sometimes. You kind of got to get your fingernail underneath it, and I don't want to scratch the paint, so I'd rather just turn it over and then you have it open like that. But yeah, you can have it at that level, go even a little lower, but then once you get there, it just automatically closes, which, yeah, it's pretty cool. Nice functionality for sure. And yeah, just a little kind of tri-way comparison. You have your plastic Mattel, you have your die-cast Mattel, and now you have your die-cast Jada. Of course, all three of them kind of taking different approaches on the coloring. Yeah, a much darker green over here, much more green in general. Then they went for the yellow approach here, which is kind of how it's supposed to be, I guess, in the artwork when it's glowing. I think Mattel just got out ahead of it because they figured, yeah, the glow might not look great, so at least let's color the decals as if he's already glowing. And Jada exuding a lot of confidence here, just making the decals white, and then hopefully, you know, when it glows in the dark, it illuminates yellow. I'm really excited. I really hope it turns out that way. One thing I do want to touch on real quick here is that I don't believe that this Jada has the functionality to switch out the tires that Jada McQueens in the past have had. Obviously, they were advertised as such here. Don't worry, guys, I didn't break my McQueen, but that's what this tire rack is for in the back. A lot of the Jada cars, not all of them, there were some that were just, you know, the car itself, but some came with a tire rack. Again, like I said, there were some, you know, just regular McQueen, some then you pay extra. The package was a little bigger, and you got the tire rack here. You got two full sets of tires, and I just removed the axle on this one, so you guys can kind of see how that works. I did do a review of this McQueen way back in the day, and coincidentally, the review's kind of blowing up over the last couple weeks and months. It's been awesome. I love the fact that people are revisiting that video from 2016. I believe it was 2016, maybe early 2017. Yeah, really happy to see that. But yeah, all you gotta do is just, you know what, let's just switch out all the tires. I mean, it's been years I've had it like this, and you know, why not just switch them all out? It does take a little bit of a pull, and I don't want to break it or anything like that, but you also have to understand that they are designed to come off, so you can be a little aggressive with it. And then, yeah, easily just comes off like that. And then you could separate the axle from the tire. A little slippery. Would be good if I had a little grip. Yeah, I am sliding right off of it. I got some sweaty. I must be nervous, guys. Wow. I'm going to have to like use my shirt as a grip, which my shirt probably even has less grip than my hands, my fingers. Wow. Am I going to really have to cut? All right, maybe we'll revisit that in a second, but we're going to take the axle here that I did get off with these tires here. His racing tires, of course. They are a little dusty, but nothing that we can't easily take off. You'll just, bingo, then thread it through. Gotta make sure it goes in straight so it comes out straight on the other side. And then, bingo, you're good to go. Like, it's super easy. I love this function. Again, would be nice if I could get this other one off here. Oh my God. Guys, What is going on? All right, we're gonna have to get creative with it. This surely will work. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. All right, so then you could just place these white walls on the rack now, which will look awesome, assuredly. This is a major sidetrack for the review. By the way, that base would always come off. Nothing's broken. It just would usually come off because it's so weakly attached to the stand itself. But then, yeah, you just slide this back in. Just use the surface of the table to get that extra oomph. Make sure it goes in straight so it pops out the other side. Take the other tire, and bam, all 4 tires, both axles are the same, so you don't have to worry about, one's front, one's back. At least I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong about that because it's not rolling wonderfully right now, but hey, we'll revisit that later. It looks so cool, so different now with the Lightyear tires because I've literally had the white walls on for years. As you guys have probably seen in like my 3 most recent collection videos, which have spanned like 5 years. All right, so yeah, there's your tire rack now with the white walls. Let's turn the lights off and see what this guy looks like in the dark. Okay, yeah, this works pretty well. I would say that is some of the best glow in the dark decals I think I've ever seen. I mean, it is absolutely illuminating the surrounding area. It's like the moon on a dark, dark night. I mean, this is awesome. I will say it looks a little bit better through the camera than it does IRL in real life. And hey, maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I think it's good for, you guys as an audience. Check this out. This looks incredible. Look at how it's illuminating the surface of the table there. Look at that. That's so awesome. The lines, I feel like would be cool if the eyes kind of lit up a little bit more. Obviously, I know that's not part of the glow-in-the-dark decals. I mean, even the tires look really good. Obviously not amazing from the bottom because they haven't absorbed any of the light that kind of charges it up. But from the side, it looks really good. And the decals themselves look incredible, from the lines there. Lightning McQueen's signature, that's so cool. How such a thin decal is laying it up. Oh my God, it's confusing the camera. Oh my goodness, zoom out. Oh. Yeah, the darkness does confuse the camera a little bit sometimes. But yeah, this looks great. Obviously way better in terms of illumination than the Mattel stuff. I mean, this is the McQueen over here. Yeah, you can just kind of barely see his eyes. That looks horrible. Here's the diecast, which doesn't look bad. It's solid. It's all right, but nowhere near the level of the Jada McQueen here, which is just going crazy right now. I mean, especially the hood, the decals there. Look at that. That's awesome. That's so cool. Finally, we have a good glow-in-the-dark product. Something that I feel like a lot of companies, I mean, at least like with the more recent Mattel attempts at glow-in-the-dark stuff, whether it be the mini racers or now the Glow Racers line, they've just struggled with it. Like, I don't think any of it's been particularly good. Here's Jackson Storm over here. Or, yeah, I mean, you guys could barely see him because he's not really glowing at all. Yeah, the plastic ones really don't look good anymore. But yeah, that's awesome. Oh, what the hell? This is so great to have something that lives up to the advertising on the box. Obviously it's not blowing up the room in that bright, bright green that it shows. But hey, I mean, what do you expect? This is about just as good of a glow-in-the-dark product you can find in the market, cars or not. And yeah, let me know if you intend on picking this up. If you find it, again, need a little more clarification on where it's available, where it will be available, because like I said, it just seems like the UK right now, I'm not even sure what stores in the UK it's available. So UK friends, British friends down below, write in, let us know, help us out. And if you're outside the UK and you've seen this anywhere at a store, maybe somewhere else in Europe, Spain, Italy, France, please, would love to see your comments in the comment section below. Thank you guys as always for watching. And yeah, I will see you soon for another video. Bye now.